Yo guys, what is up? This is New Icon, and I hope to make this a short video. And I want to thank you guys for coming back. Those of you who still managed to stick around after all this time. I have not made a video in a very long time, and I thought I would go ahead and let you guys know what's been going on. Excuse me if I get choked up, but just going to be very frank and very open and very honest with you guys, and just let you guys know what's been going on, because I have gotten a few requests for a update, and again, just thought I'd be honest. Back in June, my mom had a really bad fall, and basically it turned out to be a subdural hematoma. She had been on the floor, and I had not known about this until after it happened, because I don't live with my parents, so it was a very big shock to me, and it took me by surprise. But she had a very bad fall, and she had been apparently laying on the floor for quite some time while she was bleeding, not only out of her head but in her head. So what apparently happened was she had some blood fall on her brain, or land on her brain, or there was blood on her brain, which was incredibly dangerous. She was in such a bad state, that she ended up needing to be intubated. She was kept in the hospital for quite some time, and then out of the blue, just after that, my father fell ill. It was, a lot of people still don't know how it happened, but personally, I think it had to do with the weather that day, because they had been talking about it was going to be incredibly hot that day. And I remember pleading with my dad earlier during the week, telling him, they're saying that this is going to be a record day. Please, go somewhere where it's cool. Go to the mall, take the family out, go with them. Just go somewhere where there's AC, spend the day there, He had just told me he would think about it. But yeah, it was, I remember when I walked into the house and I saw the thermostat, it was 107 at the time. So, I was in the hospital with my mom, and we had gotten a phone call. My brother told me, please come home, because dad's not responsive. He's not responding to me. He's just staring up at the ceiling and breathing very quickly. And I said, okay. I called my sister, who apparently happened to arrive at that very moment, and she started, calling to my dad. And I heard this over the phone, and I remember hearing her say, if you don't respond, I'm going to call 911. And next thing you know, she hung up on me, which immediately told me, it's bad. So I went home, yeah, my dad ended up having to be intubated. They were talking about something with his heart. It's funny, because his whole thing was very it wasn't explained, or it wasn't, I don't even know the words I'm trying to find here. The conclusion wasn't like, I don't know, I guess they just really couldn't figure out exactly what it was that did it. But on June 24th, my dad passed away, and it was bad. So we had his funeral. During all this time, my mom is still in the hospital, and she's intubated, and she's dealing with a lot of damage and stuff as well, and we can't tell her, and we're just thinking, how the hell are we going to tell her? We have to tell her, but we can't now because of where she is and how badly she still is, and she hasn't even gotten through recovery, or she's not well. So we waited until the day, my mom fought so hard, and she finally got the tube taken out, so and she was able to breathe on her own fully. Her oxygen was great. Her vitals started looking great, and then we all got together and we broke it to her, collectively. every one of us siblings got together. That's all it was. It was just us siblings in the room. And I shit you guys not, the moan that my mom let out upon hearing it fucking broke my heart. And it was one of the most painful moments to have to live through, you know, telling my mom that. And then feeling, you know, at the same time feeling that we had betrayed her in a way because we held on to it for quite a little bit and you know, didn't tell her right away. But you know, she accepted the truth, and you know, we went forward with plans for my dad's funeral. The hospital, you know, graciously let my mom leave to attend the funeral. However, my mom did not go back. And what happened after all this, you know, my mom coming out of the hospital started doing great again. She started walking again. She started talking normally again. And little by little, as time went on, you know, she stopped walking. She was constantly laying in bed. She didn't want to get up. She didn't want to go out. She didn't want to do anything. And you know, I honestly believe that it might have been some sort of depression that kicked in. But needless to say, you know, we were there most of the time, constantly over there at the house trying to help my mom. You know, you know, going over all the time, cleaning up the house, doing pretty much all sorts of stuff. And this was me and the siblings collectively. And I went on vacation in August. And while I was on vacation with my wife, the day before I came back, my brother called me to tell me that my mom had suffered a seizure and that she was being taken to the hospital. And my heart sank. So she got transported to a hospital, one that was complete garbage, one that I honestly do not like because of, you know, the care that they give, and it was just a really bad hospital, and they were trying to get my mom out of there for the longest time. It was this huge debacle. It turned out that it kind of looked like they were trying to keep my mom in that hospital purposely because of, you know, the money that she was generating for the hospital. And yet all my mom wanted was to be transferred out to the hospital that she trusts, the one that she always goes to. So they finally, in the end, after a bunch of arguing and fighting and talking to social workers, getting in touch with a lawyer and doing all sorts of stuff, they finally let my mom go. So they took my mom to the hospital she wanted to go to. And then she had another seizure. In total, my mom had 5 seizures while in the hospital. And during the last seizure, she went into cardiac arrest. And they had said that her heart stopped, that she stopped breathing. So they had mentioned that every time she had these seizures, there was damage being done. And, you know, today, and since the day my mom got taken to the hospital back in August, she has been in the hospital. So she's still there today. She's been in and out of ICU. They've transferred her up and down, you know, throughout the hospital because it's crazy. She's been fine, then she gets sick. She's been fine, then she has a seizure. She's been fine, then she has a seizure. And every time she had a seizure, she had to be intubated. She had to fight to get that oxygen, you know, that oxygen thing, that respirator out of her throat. And she fought it every single time. And she got better. It's insane how strong this woman is. She got out of it every single time. It was as if she was saying, you know, like, fuck this, I'm not done. I am not done. And we're almost on 10 minutes, so I'm really sorry, guys, but I'll try to wrap this up. Yeah, she's still there, and the damage that's been done, the doctors are saying that they're afraid is irreversible. So her speech is slightly slurred now, and she has like these little twitch fits. They ended up having to put a pacemaker in her because they were trying to figure out what it was that was causing the seizures. But since they put the pacemaker in, she has not had a seizure since, thank God. So right now we're looking at therapy, getting out of all of this. So she's still under observation. They're still trying to make sure that she's okay, but it looks like she needs a lot. She is definitely going to need a lot of therapy, considering how long she's been in the hospital and how long she's been in bed. So she has to go through occupational therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy to gain all of her basic skills and her walking and all that, like to get it all back. So with the amount of time that I have with work, with school, and everybody else in the family, it has become, very hard for all of us to be able to say outright that we can commit this much time. We've all done it and we all do, but there's only a X amount of time that we can give each day. So so we're looking at having her go to some sort of like rehab center. It's also very like hospital like, so they have like 24 care staff and nurses doing rounds, so it's just like a hospital. But yeah, the hospital is also saying that they're going to do everything in their power to keep my mom in the hospital and get all of her therapy and everything in the hospital. So we're hoping that right there is what they can do first and foremost. I do not want to let them discharge my mom without getting the therapy, because it would be so bad, considering the fact that she skipped out on therapy the last time she was in the hospital after my dad passed away. Granted, it was, she had every right, to get out to go see my dad, but after that, I personally believe she should have gone back to therapy. And she was only doing therapy at home, and when the therapist would come home, she'd be like, no, I don't want to do therapy today. So, and the therapist was only coming like once or twice a week. So this way she gets the care she needs, this way she gets the therapy she needs, and she gets the attention she needs. So she's still fighting, man. She is still fighting. But that is, in a nutshell, all of the drama that's been going on with me. It has been fucking heavy, guys. Fucking heavy. Aside from that, a lot of other crap has been, coming down. And it's just been like hella fucking tough. So with that said, I appreciate your guys' concern. There are a few of you guys that I've talked to personally about this stuff. So I just want to thank you guys for being there for me, and anybody else who's watching this and follows, my channel and gives a shit, I appreciate that. 100%. I think I said this was going to be a quick video, but it turned out to be false. So with all of that said, guys, let me go ahead and move on and kind of quickly show you guys what I've been doing, because I have actually been getting back into the hobby. It's I have not hobbied since just before everything went down with my dad. So we're looking at about May, actually about around the last time I made a video was really any attention I spent with the hobby. So recently I've been getting things here and there. I picked up the Kill Team box by GW, and then I was looking at the one-page rules for Kill Team and thinking, you know what, I can play that game. Yeah, I wouldn't mind starting to collect like a little Kill Team for every faction in 40k, and that's kind of what I've been doing now. So my stuff has actually not been, put on the standard bases. Everything is going to be put on a 32 mil base, a GW 32 mil base. Excuse me. So that's that. Aside from that, another game that I'm prepping myself really to get back into is Resolution. I have started the work on rebasing these guys. I had these guys on lipped bases, and now I'm putting them on the beveled bases, which is like standard, traditional, the way they're supposed to be. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm putting them on their respective 25 mil bases, and I've actually started to do like that custom work, getting plastic hard and cutting it out and making that the base. And I've actually had pretty good results with it, so I'm going to show you guys some of that stuff. The two factions that I've been working the most on are both the Ronin and the Dravani. I do have some APAC, but I haven't really been paying too much attention to them. Oh, and mind you guys, I just recently got back into the hobby, like within the last 2 weeks. There's just little things here and there. No painting really. The only painting I've done is a few little touches on the Dravani because of just a bunch of different things I'm doing. So I'm just trying very hard to put any sort of effort into some sort of hobby time. So there are little things I'm doing. Most of the stuff I'm doing is building, really. Building and converting. Little things like, for example, this dude here. Oh, and this is actually from the Battle for Vedros 40k box, which I actually scored on eBay for $30 with free shipping, which was fucking amazing considering all the minis you got with this, because Battle for Vedros is like their new push for a child-friendly intro to 40k. So basically it was Blackreach, just kind of a little bit more mini. If I remember correctly, it came with like between 25 and 30 figures. So I'm like, fucking hey, cool, why not? I have orcs now, you know? So with the Kill Team box, Space Marines, Tau, orcs, already have 3 different kill teams I can rock. And these guys are actually on wooden bases. My thing is now, and I've wrestled with it for a very long time, is bases. As long as, and I've come to this conclusion, as long as everything that is representing my side of the table is on the same type of base, then I'm okay. So, you know, that's how OCD I am, guys. So, like, for example, this Space Marine is on one of these new 40k bases, the GW bases that they do. They're all going to be on them. Like, I've even reworked this Crimson Fist special model on a GW base because I'm thinking about kind of updating him because I never finished it, as you can see. Making him a captain for my kill team, so I'm probably going to do Crimson Fists. But yeah, so everything's got to be, like, the bases on my side of the table have to be uniform. That's my only thing, and I'm good with it. So I don't care what type of bases they are, as long as they're uniform, I'm good. Moving on to the Dravani. So this is the Voldoka, something like that. It fell off the base. As you can see, I do have some work to do here because I recently glued them back on. And this is actually the plastic card I was just talking about. Started playing around with that stuff, and I really dig it. So I wanted to really field this guy in a game. However, I found out that you need 2 to make a group. So that was very disappointing. Here are some special characters for Dravani. This is a Bride of Lilith, which is like one of my favorite figures. That is my final paint job on it. And this base actually came from Sedition Wars. I just, you know, clipped the edges off the base and then glued it on top of this base. And here is, shit, I don't know what the hell this guy's name was. He is unfinished, as you can see, but uniform bases. Basically everybody in my Dravani army save the Bride of Lilith is going to be on these plate bases. I'm assuming this guy is incredibly cold, by the way. Here is this one. These were paint jobs I did quite a while back, so I don't know if I want to do any touch-ups because I'm not too happy with the way a lot of these came out. I do like the colors though, but yeah. As you can see, this one's still a work in progress. This is not a really nice miniature. I mean, look at that face, yo. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah. This is a group, a team of, oh god, what the hell were they named? Lectra Vassals? Or Vassals? Something like that. These are really cool models. They are pretty slick in close combat, but are not that amazing in anything else. You can hit them fairly easily, and they will go down very easily. is this one? I do believe I still need to throw a wash in there. Same pose. And last but not least, these are models from Sedition Wars that I'm going to be using as Dravani Shamblers. So I've got 2 of these guys, and Shamblers are almost like zombies. So I've got, oh no, I've got 1 of these. I've got 2 of these actually. These are the Plague models from, I don't know if they're called Plague, they might be called something else. The zombie undead looking dudes from Sedition Wars. So, yeah. Here are the Ronin. This big motherfucker here is called a Brick, and he is actually off his base. He's another dude that fell off. I'm gonna grab all these guys. And here is his base. Another plastic card. Basically, I clip, boxes. I'm sure a lot of you guys do it that way or do it however, I don't know, however you guys do it. And then I just clip the sides like that, and then I shave it so it comes out, pretty decent. He's a big fucking model. Incredibly powerful in the game. I still need to work on this guy. But, yeah, actually, let me kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. So here's the Brick. Fairly slow. He is rolling 2 dice, or I'm sorry. Jesus, I'm already forgetting how to play the game. Over here, the attack. The damage for this weapon is pretty brutal because if I remember correctly, it is 2d6 plus your RCA versus 2d6 plus SAG. And then if you hit, you're dealing this much damage. Now, 8d6 at short range, 5d6 at long range. And you're also getting the -2 to a long range attack roll. He also has a launcher with a 5-inch template. But yeah, this guy is pretty beast. And quite a lot of health. You can see this is my collection of a lot of my resolution stuff in general. I absolutely love the game, and you guys should check it out if you guys ever get a chance. This is a model from Reaper that I just decided to use because he looks very much like he could fit the Ronin style. I'm not certain what I'm going to use him as yet. Maybe another Brick, but we'll see. This is a... Geez, what was he called? Maven? Maybe he's the Maven. This guy's a Maven, I think? Or a Shootist, or something. You can see I started working on the... one of my problems is I tend to work on things before I work on the model. Just in this case, for example, started working on the base before I started work on the model. But this model is very rad. I love that pose. And yeah. This here is a Fiddler, and a Fiddler can control bots, like little bomb bots. This is a really rad looking model. There's a little flamethrower. There's his controller. And here are his bomb bots. This one here is actually the official model. Let's see if I remember correctly. He can control up to 2 or 3. Never mind. I believe the rules are going to be... Oh, that's the fist. Oh, dear God. Never mind. Recon drone. So he can pick up a recon drone, and then he can pick up 2 sentinel turrets. May rearrange setup on D3 independent models or teams there's every drones roll for. Oh, okay. Huh. Totally forgot about that. There you go. He can control up to 3 bomb bots or 2 metabots. And what's pretty rad about the bomb bots is basically they get their own, activation and movement and can blow up as soon as you get them close to an enemy. But yeah, here's the official. And these are actually from Dead Zone. I don't remember. These are from the first edition box. What they were for, I don't really remember. But I just thought I would use these guys as bomb bots as well. Last is the Fist. This guy's pretty badass. Badass model too. Yeah. Alright, so there you guys go. Another little thing that I'm doing is I'm prepping for some confrontation. So one thing I'm doing is I'm getting a lot of these models, because if you guys remember, I bought a shit ton of confrontation quite some time ago. Sorry about that. And I just thought I would go ahead and start getting shit ready and doing light paint jobs. And also a lot of the stuff I've been doing has been permanently putting stuff in its place, I guess you would say. So like this thing doesn't move, his head doesn't move anymore, his waist doesn't move anymore. Same thing here with this guy. It's all fixed. So this guy I'm going to do a repaint. This guy I'm probably going to paint a few things on top and do some washes. But yeah, so I'm trying to get shit ready so I can start playing some confrontation again. Other stuff I want to play, like I was saying earlier, one-page kill team. As I said, showing all the models, some resolution. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. I did get a few games in of one-page kill team actually. I got absolutely spanked by my wife. I was playing as Space Marines and she was playing Tau, and I don't know how that happened, but she took advantage of cover. Another game that I got recently and started playing a lot of was Gore Chosen. That game has been incredibly fun. I've played it about 5 times now. I believe I'm 2-3 against Rosalind so far. She is really good. I don't know why I keep getting my ass kicked by Rosalind. I got to play Gore Chosen with some friends as well. I believe that was 2 different occasions, and I won one, lost one. So there you have it, guys. See what else I can come up with, get together, and start showcasing on the channel. I still want to continue my coverage of Mutant Chronicles, the collectible miniatures game. I also want to do some videos for Legends of Caladasia because I am getting pumped for some of the new releases for the Koilith Guard, and I want to get my hands on some of that stuff, paint it up, and play some games with it. Also, I also want to play some Oko. Actually, I've been really fiending for some fucking Oko, so we'll see when I come around to that. 2 more things actually. Since I was speaking of confrontation, these are actually repaints I did, and I don't believe I really showed these to you guys. So here's this dude, and this base is actually sandpaper that I clipped out with a hole puncher, a 1-inch craft puncher. Just glued it down and colored it up and shit, made it all pretty. And here's the Dur's special character. These are both repaints, like I said. And if you guys know, my painting style is literally just base coat and wash. That's it. I rarely do highlights, and if I do, I don't think that they're that great. But yeah, so that, and then the other thing was I was rebasing a lot of my stuff to get prepped for some more Goremageddon, which is a tabletop miniatures game that I'm developing. It is the 3rd edition of Toxic Holocaust, and that is actually coming out very soon. I was going to do a traditional paperback in like regular 8.5 by 11, but I decided against that. Here's a Malifaux model that's part of the gang. and I decided to go back to the traditional comic book format that Toxic Holocaust 2 was in, and this was after a much debate with people that were on the teams, so I'm already transitioning a lot of the stuff over. This is a HeroClix model. Already transitioning everything back to that format, so once that's done, you know, we're getting much closer to a full-on release. But yeah, so more stuff I want to cover. Thank you guys for staying up with me for these 30 fucking minutes. I apologize that for taking too long, but I really, really, really appreciate your guys' time. And thank you guys so much for, coming back again, sticking around, checking up on me, wondering how I've been doing and asking, and really just, for fucking being there, guys. So I really appreciate everything. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will let you guys know what else is up. I look forward to more content. And yeah, be good to one another, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Y'all be safe.